Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hi, I'm Doug.
I'm Dimitri.
I'm Nathan, and we are
Noise Brigade! You stopped at the same time. That's so sick.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us,
Why
man.
don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, and since there's so many of you, we'll start at this end, and why don't you tell us what you do in the band as well?
Okay, I sing and play guitar. Yeah.
What's your name?
Oh, my name's Doug.
Yeah, I know you said it in the beginning, but
Yeah.
we'll go one more time.
My name's Doug. I sing and play guitar.
Hell yeah.
My name's Dimitri. I play bass.
I'm Nathan. I sing and also play guitar.
Hell yeah. And then, we'll come back the other way. What got you all into music initially?
Well, I guess probably growing up, going on road trips with my dad and singing along to Johnny Cash and Whitney Houston and Cyndi Lauper and Celine Dion.
All the good stuff.
All great musicians that people should be looking into if you haven't heard of them.
Nathan's putting you on right now, dude.
All right, and what about you?
For me, I used to just hide away in my room and just play Final Fantasy, would play, Metal Gear, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and I was like, oh, this is so rad. So I just started to just go out after that and was like, oh, I want to write, music.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, dude, same for me. I grew up listening to music from video games, basically, and being like, this is sick. Like, there's something here, and
Damn it, Halo, you did it again.
basically, dude.
Yeah.
And then I found Tony Hawk. I rented Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3,
Hell yeah.
and I was like, the Ramones, Zebrahead, and I got into punk and everything from there.
It's funny how many bands have been on the show have said Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
It's
at some
huge,
point.
dude.
Yeah, it's incredible how the soundtrack for that game just transcends
That's our 8,
time.
right? Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Well, that what was the other? Need for Speed.
Oh,
Same
dude,
thing,
yeah.
yeah.
Burnout.
Like Need for Speed
Burnout
Underground.
3.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. All that early 2000s, late 90s, that whole
They cared about it in a certain way. It was just there was no excuses for them. You know? They were like, no, it's got to be a killer soundtrack.
somebody in those dev teams knew what the fuck was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a good soundtrack makes almost anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially if it's a game that you're gonna want a ton of hours of play time, you got to make sure they're timeless songs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you turn on Tony Hawk and you hear that,
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
dude.
yeah, here
Exactly.
I am.
Yeah.
I am getting older all the time.
Yeah.
Weird.
And now I'm 30.
Nostalgia thing. It just hits you, hear that song, it gets you right back to being in your room.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. All right, and then we're gonna go back this way.
Okay.
Who was somebody that inspired you early on?
Green Day.
Okay, you just had that. You
Hell
were just
yeah.
ready.
I remember-
you were like, who?
Dude.
Green Day.
Well, they were the first band when I was in I was in 6th grade when American Idiot came out, and I think they were the first band where I was like, this is something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember it was my parents had a treadmill that was broken in my downstairs. I remember sitting on it and watching the Bullet in the Bible DVD on my PSP, knowing one day
Motherfuckers the guys at VSP.
Yeah. So it was, I'd say it's probably still my favorite band of all time.
That's such a specifically vivid memory.
Dude, it's
on the broken treadmill on the PSP.
Yeah.
You could have just said you watched it and we would have taken it with the same value. I love the specifics.
I had to get myself in the mindset again.
Yeah. You had to be on that treadmill to tell the story.
Exactly, dude.
Hell yeah, I love that. All right, then what about you?
For me, Streetlight Manifesto.
Hell
Definitely, that was one of the bands. And also, I would say Blink-182 at that time. Yeah, definitely, I was heavily into them. My brother bought their CDs and whatnot. He would play them, and I was like, "Oh, what is that? What is that? That's so amazing!" And he was just like, "It's just Blink, dude," because he was kind of like a I don't know, he was just getting into it at that
Yeah.
time, and so he was just
Older brother music was huge. I think.
it was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
It definitely was. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And let's round it out here.
Well, probably mine is Rod Stewart's "If We Fall in Love Tonight." That compilation CD. I think I've showed you guys this.
Yeah, you
This
have
is not a joke.
So I don't know. My mom had this CD growing up. Like I said, back to me driving in the car and singing along to all these songs. Just compilation of all these really soft, like melodic,
Man, I rode in the car to Enya. I don't know what to tell you. But who can say where the road goes?
what the kind of songs are called. They're not just soft songs. And it made me love I loved melody, and I just loved singing along to that stuff. And I still listen to that album at least probably once every 2 months.
Does it bring you back?
It does. It brings you back in the car eating potato chips and my mom yelling at me for spilling those potato chips.
Playing your Game Boy Color and shit.
Didn't have a Game Boy Color. It broke.
Didn't?
It broke.
But you had one.
It broke.
That's sad.
I feel like having a broken Game Boy is almost worse than not having one.
Yeah, well, he had a broken Game Boy Color. I had a broken treadmill.
Yeah.
Just, growing up ain't easy anywhere.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
land of misfit stuff.
That's right.
All right, and then this one's going to be kind of open to the group. Let's see whoever come up with the answer first. Go ahead and shout it out. What was the first album you ever bought with
I
your
know.
own money?
Alien Ant Farm Anthology.
Nice. Good album.
Dude, it's a rocker.
Good
man.
album.
Movies, track.
Yeah.
It is a track.
Movies was really, I mean, the music video was interesting.
Yeah, look in the movie theater. They're like, "Oh, this song's called Movies." I got an idea for the video.
My favorite track by them was definitely Glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish was actually a really hard song. I
Yeah.
think that was like an early like, oh shit, hard music exists. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, they were on to something if they had just stayed any course whatsoever.
Yeah.
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 All right, then what about you?
Space Jam soundtrack. You
bought that?
I bought that with my
Wow.
own money.
Do you still have it?
I do not have it.
Ah.
I'm sad. But when I first heard that song, like, come on, and welcome to the
We use that as our
went
intro for a
so
while.
hard. Yeah.
Badass.
Anyways, yeah.
See, a good soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah.
Underrated.
Heavily.
Well, we can't talk about Mr. Kelly anymore, unfortunately.
And
We can say that song at the time was the least R. Kelly song of the R. Kelly songs.
Mr. Kelly, why would you say it like that?
Sorry, I don't know. Might be.
holy shit.
Sorry. What do I remember? I think mine was Creed's Greatest Hits.
Really?
Yeah, because I was in Boy Scouts and I won a $20 thing from selling popcorn, and for some reason that was the thing I bought that.
You had to hear my sacrifice.
I
again?
did. I heard My Sacrifice. I heard One Last Breath, and I was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever heard."
Dude, tracks on tracks. Dude, this is a pro Creed band.
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, I could tell. Not the first pro Creed band we've had, you guys. You're in a
Okay.
safe
Oh, sweet,
space.
sweet.
Hell yeah.
I'm kidding. All right, and then again, kind of open up to the group. What was the first show that you ever went to? That was like specifically one you wanted to go to. So not like the first one you got like dragged to.
Well, we're from Alaska, and it was kind of more rare for bigger bands to come up there because it's more expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody remembers the mid 2000s new metal band Tantric,
Mhm.
but I went to go. I guess it wasn't like, oh fuck, I'm
I
gonna
have
go
a
see.
signed CD of theirs in the car.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was
That's
from Alaska.
badass.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was like, I want to go fucking see Tantric, but like, this is the show that's happening. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that was it for me. You know?
Okay.
For me, I went to go visit my brother, and I think it was like during high school. I went to go see Converge.
Okay.
I had to go see Converge in New York. At
I remember
the
you
Best
telling me
Buy
That's your
Mall.
first concert? That's
No.
gnarly.
Not my like other ones I got dragged to, but like that one was the one I really wanted to go.
So you were going to local shows before that. So like that
I
was like a
was.
big like that was your first like yo.
That's my first like, yo, I need to go to this.
That's fucking
was
sick.
cool, super cool.
We saw Converge together a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Nice.
I did not go. I had gout.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Sad.
Well, you guys are cooler than mine. Mine was Smash Mouth
Dude, Smash Mouth.
I mean, live.
at the Alaska State Fair.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
Dude, rest in peace.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
The best part is what song was I'm a Believer, and he's like, when I got something, I got rain, and it was raining.
That's crazy.
That made me feel something there.
Just for that
Wow.
one moment.
Just for
it
that
just
moment.
rained for that. I got rain. Oh my God, I didn't do that. that?
I bet that was so inspiring.
But I love it.
This is awesome.
You somehow knew all of the songs, even though you didn't know them later. You were like, how did I sing all the words?
I don't know.
I've never heard those songs. Like, it's not even that
I am a believer.
Was it raining before they played that song?
No. Yeah, it was.
Or did Steve Harwell make it rain?
Maybe he pointed it out, so it makes me. I want to believe he made it rain.
Yeah.
Now you're a believer. See, it all comes back.
In this version, he did.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It exists forever in Jambox lore at the least.
Smash Mouth. Noise
Somebody once
Brigade's
told me, what are you going to do, you know?
Sick.
All right, and then to round it out, and you know what, we've been starting at this end a lot naturally. We'll start at this end.
That's right.
And this one's
Motherfuckers.
This is kind of a denser question, but it's like I said, it's the last of the origin one. So this is kind of the finish of the story to lead to now. But what was your defining moment where you decided that music was not just like a thing you wanted to do very passe, but like wanted to make it a part of your life?
Ooh, what moment was that? I would have to say when we opened for Papa Roach.
Okay. Okay.
It was not a good show.
It was not a good show, but it made me go, you know what?
We could do better.
We can do more better and more of these.
Yeah. We simply fucked up at this show, but we could do it better.
But it was a turning point in my life where like, okay,
this is sick.
I need to impress Mr. Roach for next time.
Would you say it was the moment that made you realize that if you took it more seriously, you would get more out of it?
100%.
Okay. Hell yeah.
That was where I was like, you know what? I'm not very good at this guitar. None of us are very good at playing live. We need to start.
We could be.
We could be if we start practicing and taking this more seriously.
Okay. Hell yeah.
For me, I think when I started this band, it was like a melodic hardcore band at that time, and afterwards I was like, I don't know about this music stuff, and then I started hitting up people online about wanting to do video game music, and so I started creating video game music for these indie developer artists, and after that I was like, I love making music so much to where I'm down to do whatever just to, get my songs out there.
Hell yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It just makes me feel happy.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. And then you?
I think after the treadmill moment,
once I realized you didn't have to use a PSP to watch things.
You could just do this live.
Yeah. You could see it on TV. Apparently.
It was like, I always had that. I think I like watching a lot of that early, like shows and stuff, like concert footage or whatever. I think I always kind of like had it, like had that, like, I need to do this in me. But like, I think when we first started playing shows after Nathan joined the band and people started like visibly caring and stuff back home, I think that like, it was probably just a couple shows in, I was like, this, I'm getting out of this what I need. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never going to stop, basically.
Okay.
So.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I feel like now we know y'all as people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the band.
Yeah.
And we're going to get the easy one out of the way. Whoever wants to answer this one can. How'd y'all pick the name?
So I can answer that.
All right. So many of y'all may not know this, but
I know.
Nathan and Dimitri know. So I'm 30 years old now, and we started the band when I was 14.
Wow.
And when I was 14, I was in high school, I loved ska music and loved the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Track one on Let's Face It is Noise Brigade. And I was like, that'd be a sick band name. And I hate our band name, truly.
Sucks.
But you know
I
what?
hate it so much.
I identify with it now at this point. So that's where it came from.
Okay.
We're just another band named after a song.
What would y'all name it if you could name it anything else?
I've thought about this a lot. I have an answer, but I want to hear if you guys have
I was going to say something vulgar, but
fart shit.
I'm restraining myself.
Gout Boys.
Yeah. GBs. Natty Ice and the Gout Boys.
Yeah, not Gorilla Biscuits, Gout Boys.
What would you, David, Dimitri?
Man, I don't know. Honestly, I'm terrible with names. Like
Pendant's a good name.
What?
Pendant's a good name.
Pendant's a great name. Pendant is my like solo project thing, so that's like somewhere else. But I don't know. I don't know what I would name it. Probably some name with one syllable or some very quick
Ice.
A mononym.
Chode.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a what if we were to change our name? We have a song called Sure Thing, and there's a line in it that has the words "good company," and I was like, "Good company would be a good band name." But there's the band "Bad Company," so that would be
I'm pretty sure there's a band called Good Company.
probably is. So
that name seems
we're
very
unfortunately stuck with Noise Brigade.
I mean, I'm sure you could come up with something else, but I mean, it's not bad.
It's us though now.
Once you stepped in the pile of shit, you are.
It's gonna stink forever.
Once you are,
you can't really scrape it off.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, and apparently this is a bit I do. I found that this is a bit I do, so sorry, this is a bit I do. But I break down people's names. This is a recurring thing. You guys like the 7th or 8th people I'll do it for now.
Cool.
But the first thing I will say is that it like physically as a shape, like it's shaped well. It looks good.
Dude, I said that.
Looks good written down.
It looks good.
It looks
right?
great written down. Like it's got the right amount of like, vowel to consonant ratio.
Certainly.
The words stagger well on top of each other. You could do a lot with it spectrally to like make it fit in a lot of spaces.
Yeah.
I will say they are a little bit more sandpapery as far as words go. So
For sure.
I can see that being where the dissonance is.
I don't like how Brigade feels in my mouth.
It's not. Yeah, it's especially with noise being right before it. Like you would need something that was a little more rolling ahead of time to like roll into the word brigade for it to work the best. Like Mighty Brigade would work.
Yeah.
Because that would, but like it's not that it doesn't. And I will say it's easy to remember. Like while there is a bit of tension on the words, they still pass. You know what I mean? It's not like people are going to hear it and be like, "Oh, dysfunctionally erect penis." I can't show that to anybody. So like it's not a bad name. So if if from an outside in perspective, it works and it would go a long way. It looked good on posters.
It sounds
with
like
other bands in the same room.
Band name you picked when you were 14.
You know what? Like.
Oh, weird.
I think a lot of artists hate their band names. Foo Fighters. Dave famously hates the name Foo Fighters. So.
I mean, but that's Dave.
Yeah,
he's allowed to hate anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so I've identified with it over the years, and I'm cool with it. It's all good.
Well, from the outside in, I think it's a pretty solid name.
Hell yeah!
Thank you.
You finally have that.
We became on top.
All right, and take us through actually, you know what? Before we get into the writing process, how did y'all meet as people? Like, I know y'all met in Alaska, I assume, but how did that happen? Tell us the timeline.
Me and Doug went to high school together. Okay. I think one of our friends noticed me, and he was like, "Oh, you seem cool. You should hang out on our table." And then that's where Doug sat, and then we were just buddies. Yeah, I was freshman, he's sophomore at the time, and that's when we hung out.
Okay. Yeah, we just ended up at the same lunch table, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and we just. We're hanging out from there, and he lived like super far away, so it was always like a big deal when he came over to hang out and shit.
Okay.
Then I think I met you guys because I was in another band at the time, 2010, and they got Noise Brigade was a separate thing, and I was in a different band at the time, and they hit me up to play shows with them, and then when my band dissolved, I was like, hey, if you guys need another second guitar player, hit me up.
And lo and behold,
he hit me up.
And would you believe it?
And here I am.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I consider him an original member of the band.
Yeah, I mean,
only because no one was there doing it before me.
Yeah, exactly. If it's an addition and not a replacement, I think as long as it's not like an addition post like full wave,
right,
then it's still original member. Like, has he been on majority albums?
Everyone. Other than our demo, yeah.
Yeah, then I mean, then definitely original member at that point. I think first album qualifies you if you continue after that.
Yeah. Dimitri's our third bass player, and I've actually known him almost longer than anybody else, other than, our first bass player. So
he used to do our merch.
I did.
Come on tour with us.
Okay.
And then just these last 2 years, we're like, hey, you want a promotion? You want to get paid even less money?
Yeah.
And the bit is, I only made $17
his entire time as a merch guy.
Yeah, as a merch guy.
I don't believe those numbers, but
we should have fucking run an audit on you, dude.
I probably will do that later this year.
Please.
No, you know what? I brought Excel with me, guys. Let's do this together.
This is a fucking intervention. You thought this was a podcast, motherfucker?
Guess what?
All right, now take us through your writing process. Like, as the group, do you sit down in a room together? Do you send stuff back and forth? How do you go about putting a track together?
Kind of both. For a long time, Nathan and I have been, I guess, like the main songwriters. And
it's hard to write songs when you're selling merch.
Promotion.
Promotion. Well, demotion, actually. I'm not making any money.
It's a lateral move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of times it just starts like one of us like on our own, we'll come up with an idea, you know, and just kind of develop it a little bit and bring a skeleton to the rest of us. Or I've like written entire songs, been like, here you go. And the same more or less for Nathan, I think. But there have been times where we've just like our EP before this one, it was pretty collaborative. We all kind of got in the practice space or in our living room and, you know, hashed it out together. So I don't think there's ever been any like one way that we do it, you know, just whatever is kind of works at the time.
Gotcha.
Our most recent record, we rented an Airbnb out in Cannon Beach, and we brought my computer and we just were like, all right, we just sat around together with our guitars and stuff, no drummer, just the three of us, and we just wrote 5-6 songs.
Okay.
And so it's always, I think we're into like the idea of like, let's do it this way this time.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
There's whatever works at that moment, I think.
It sounds like at least y'all do it together. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't sound
Yeah,
like there's somebody who's like, hey, I have everything, you guys here.
I have done that a couple times, and I feel looking back, I'm like, I don't know if that feels good to
Well, I'm pretty honest with you too. If it's
Yeah, like
like we're all pretty
dude,
open.
if you bring them something good and they like it, then like, oh no, you
Right,
yeah, like,
yeah.
and it's cool because sometimes, like, not all the time, but sometimes playing somebody else's part can be fun because it's different than what you would play.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
100%, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it's cool to change it up every time. I like renting out an Airbnb is all, like getting a space where you all can exist there for like a week.
That's exactly what we did. Yeah.
Together, like, you know what I mean? No,
Focus.
like,
It's
hey
the
guys,
best
see
week
you
of
all
my
tomorrow. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like y'all, two of you could pass out doing something while one of you is like running errands or something. You know what I mean? Like, like it's doable in that way, and the songs always have a bit more togetherness.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so that's never a bad way.
Yeah.
Like I heard one recently where they started with the drums first. They wrote all the drums first.
God's hate style. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and they were like, it actually opened up, like, because the drummer wrote it how he imagined the arrangement would be.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they wrote everything on top of it and were just like, hey, can you change this part? So, because I have a thing I can do if you do this.
That's cool.
That's
yeah,
really
so
cool.
they were able to communicate to the drummer better. And the drummer are like you know, knew an arrangement, knows how to count.
Yeah.
So it actually, like, they were like, we're going to start doing that more often because it felt like stronger foundational.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a drummer like you know, structure out a song like that, the structure's already done.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's actually a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I never in my entire like band time had I ever considered starting that route. So I'm telling every band now that is going to be a thing that happens moving forward.
That's pretty sweet.
Makes
actually.
sense, right? Because I mean, that's my thing. Like the drums are the house of every song, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then we're just kind of in there putting shit
We're
together.
taking shit in the toilet.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Or whatever.
There are times though where, you know, I think you've had this too, Doug, where we'll each present a song and then we hate it, and then our egos are shattered for like at least 3 days.
Oh, like if I brought you a song and you're like, this is, I'm like, yo, this is fucking genius. And you're like, this is,
I don't think it's very good.
all right.
All right.
Like thinking about it at work the next day and shit.
I always think like, what can I change?
How can I change his mind?
How can I
Yeah.
change his mind? Yeah. You know, throwing it away.
Or like recycling the parts or whatever.
Or what has happened for our song Fiberglass, I just came up with a riff and I was like, I called Nathan instantly. I was like, Nathan, you've got to check out this riff. And he's like, I'll be over in a sec. And then he came over, presented the riff to him, and he's like, oh man, we can make something out of this. And we both just hashed out onto this song.
Yeah.
And it turned out amazing.
That's what's cool about having him in the band is he's also a songwriter. So there's three of us, but kind of bouncing a lot of ideas off of each other
Hell
and
yeah.
stuff.
That goes such a long way.
It does.
I mean, not to say that the people who are like, they do their thing and that's the thing they do is a bad approach either, but there's a different congruency when all of the members of the band are familiar with all of the parts of the band.
Yeah.
Like that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And not even like actively like you need to be able to like tab and write and, you know, note it all out, but just knowing how it all goes.
Yeah, totally.
Like there's nothing cooler than like seeing like the drummer like mouthing along to like one of the guitarist parts, like not the vocal, like you know the word, but like when the drummer's like da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
So we
You're
all
like,
know like internally what's going on. Yeah. Totally, dude.
It's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we always like meet a happy middle.
Yeah.
Like every time we write something, you know, Nathan or Doug will come up and someone and be like, oh, what about this? And then Nathan will be like, well, let's do this. And then we all just kind of like, oh yeah, I agree.
Compromise
Like
or something.
we all just like kind of meet a fine middle and we love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the way that things come out.
We've all been best friends for over half our lives at this point.
Yeah.
So I think there's we like as friends we have an understanding of how we all work, you know, and like what like we have that, like there's just that like underlying level of respect, I think,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
we know, like, I don't know when we can push a little bit more and when to be like, just let them have this kind of thing. We can, like you said, like you always meet in the middle,
I think there's something to the give and take of like making music with somebody else. Like
Mhm.
you don't have to love 100% of other people's parts.
Yeah,
like that,
right.
that's a big part of it. And also sometimes it's worth letting the other person lean into that moment
Mhm.
because then the rest of whatever happens after it is going to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was the same band that did the drums. I really wish I could think of who it was at the moment. But they were like, there was this part that one of the members just hated every time, like just couldn't. So two of the other members like stood aside and they're like, hey, every time we practice this part, just go hard as just
Yeah.
go for
So
it.
like influence
And,
them.
and so over time, it was almost Pavlovian where like the other members of the band just started, they were like, oh my God, why am I have to lean into this part.
Yeah.
So it just, it was just that little bit of like, it took a little time to grow on them, but like the energy was there. Like those two guys went so hard, it was infectious almost.
That's the magic of being in a band versus like somebody could sit down at a computer and write all these parts themselves, but like that's the magic of doing it together and like having multiple people, minds
multiple
working
brains.
on it.
Yeah.
I always love getting the other side of a different perspective. Like what I think is so awesome, and then like Dimitri or Doug will like, well, I look at it like this, and I'm like, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost teaches you new ways of playing in real time while you're playing.
We've we've been learning how to do this shit together for 15 years at this point, and it's very symbiotic, like you said.
Having support goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, for this next question, this is kind of an overview question. And I guess we'll start at this end for this one. What are some of the things about your current sound that you enjoy?
Oh man. I love, so we, to get into our current sound, we used to be like a real fast punk, like pop punk band, a lot of hardcore influence. Over the years, we kind of slowed down and mellowed out a little bit, partly because it's easier to play. But I really love that we
longevity.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Let's go.
I love that we can really, with our current sound, we can really focus on layers and dynamics and stuff, and harmony, and focus on maybe some specific rhythms and stuff that or maybe in the past we were just like, let's just go 150% all the time,
Yeah.
So I think maybe like just approaching things with more detail is really cool now. I love that a lot.
Hell yeah.
I'm very detail oriented. I'm a fucking nerd about all that kind of shit. So.
For me, I think for the overall tone, like Doug and Nathan have this really cool distortion, like not so much of distortion, but has so much clarity to it.
Definition.
To where for me, on being on the bass, like I have like this, I wouldn't say like gritty bass tone, but it's like more of like a, I don't know. It's like more of a
Driven?
Driven.
I guess driven would be the word. Yeah, it had to be more driven, more bass tone to it. And I've never ever like played with that tone before, but it sounds so fucking amazing. Like with
when
these
it all comes together.
When it all comes together, and then when I can also play chords in this band. So,
Okay.
so which makes me super happy. So I was like, yes.
I'm a big chordal and tapping bass player
Dude,
myself.
yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part is probably I don't know, I like kind of where Doug was saying. I like how we're basically a pop band in some sort of like what do I know? I've never had a hit song. What do I know if what we're playing is any good or anything? Who cares? But like what
I think it is.
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really do think like the core element of our songs are just, I know a lot of pop stuff, and I love, like I said, I love melody and I love those vocal harmonies and more dynamics, and I'm so overplaying. Don't get me wrong, I love riffs as much as the next guy. There's nothing better than a good fat riff. I'll tell you that.
PH fat.
Just waking up and
fat,
riffing on a Sunday.
But it's
nothing
just-
better.
Nothing gets me better.
Nothing better.
But there's nothing better like having like a good earworm or a good hook in my ear.
Yeah.
That is what I feel like that's the best part we're trying to do right
Yeah.
now.
One thing I really love is I think the three of us, Nathan and I never play the same thing really on guitar. And I think there's like, I like getting a little symphonic with it. Like I like to play a lot of inversions, and he likes to play a lot of open chords and stuff. And he loves to play chords on the bass. So I love just getting big and fat and I think like working out guitar arrangements between the three of us in like I guess like pop rock music is fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah. All right, and then for this next one, we're gonna go fun. We're gonna see if there's any nifty stories to tell. Do you have like a fun recent show story?
Fuck, dude, we've only played a couple shows in the last few years, actually.
Okay, then let's open it up to the whole window of time.
Fuck,
And let's do like most fun and like wildest show.
dude.
God, there's a lot there.
The coolest show we ever played was opening for The Offspring in Anchorage. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the coolest one. Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah.
One of the coolest days of our fucking life,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
We've played some of the
That was the one where I felt like I finally made it.
yeah.
They gave us a rider, and everything I wrote on the rider, I got.
Oh,
You're like, look at me now, Papa Roach.
Yeah, look, I did it.
Check.
we played some crazy ass shows. One time we opened when Call of Duty, it was Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare came out. We had a friend that worked at a GameStop, and she was like, "Yo, do you guys want to play the midnight release?"
Oh,
like,
shit.
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
We had
Hell
like a lot of weird shit like that, you know. So many just fucking. We played in a cave in Ohio once.
Oh, damn.
Sounded terrible.
I mean, it's a cave.
It's a cave,
I don't
yeah.
even know. This is a lot of reverb.
All things considered, it wasn't that bad, but it was, you know, there's a lot of cool shit, man. What was your favorite or coolest show?
For me, I wasn't playing at the time, but it was just I was just enjoying it.
You were there.
When you guys were playing that basement show,
In
and
Tacoma?
one of the bands, I forgot what the show was, but one of the bands was called Drink 182.
Yeah.
There's just like three dudes who are really drunk
Covering Blake songs.
covering like it literally what it is. Like it is what it is, like that. And they played those songs terribly, but it was the funniest experience in my life.
And, like-
I was dying laughing
Yeah.
in the room next door, just hearing that shit.
Yeah, we've
Love them.
awesome, dude. And that wasn't the point though. They were just like they didn't go up there to be like, "Oh, we're gonna blow these guys' fucking minds right now. We're gonna play these songs so
No.
fucking accurately."
No.
They're called
knew.
Drink 182,
Yeah,
brother.
they
we're gonna go
knew.
nuts.
Yeah,
It was cool.
Love them.
Well, shout out Drink 182.
If you're still out there.
Yeah, wherever you
Please,
are.
Yeah,
What's up?
please.
Yeah. All right. And then
I mean, probably for honestly the best shows, The Offspring. God, The Offspring is my favorite band of all time. So to be able to open for them, having the opening slot
In our hometown.
in our hometown, and no one else was opening, we're the only opening band. I was like, I'm on cloud nine.
It was
And,
so
and as soon as I got done playing, I sat side stage and watched them play. All my favorite songs were growing up. I'm like, this is it. I could quit music.
and he didn't.
He didn't. though.
Thank God.
I was gonna say, or you could do the opposite
Yeah.
and do even more. Let them open for you one to know. Kidding.
Please.
Co-headlining is fine.
Director, hit me up.
All right, and then how long does it take you guys to get a song ready to perform? So once you once you have kind of the stencil there from start to like not maybe recorded and released, but like when how long would you say it takes you to get ready to like show the world a song?
I would say honestly, like if we write it all together, we probably run through it. Like there have been a couple times where like we have this new song idea or whatever, and we like bust it out. We'll practice it 3 times. And be like, let's rip this on Friday or whatever. You know,
It could be that fast.
It could be that
There
fast.
have been times where probably not now, but like probably 5 years ago, where I wrote even I wrote a song like, hey, let's do this real quick. And
Yeah.
then we're all like, okay, sounds great. Cool. We're all good. All right, let's wait Friday.
yeah, yeah.
So-
And there were a lot of times where like we would do that, and then like we would either never release the song or like we would like ruminate on it and like edit shit afterwards.
Yeah.
But honestly, like sometimes the turnaround was pretty quick between idea and playing it live.
Mhm.
You know.
Oh yeah. And how long do y'all think it kind of got to the point from like beginning a band to now where it got to that point? Like in the beginning, I imagine it took you a little while, but like where do you think was kind of the turning point where that just started to happen more regularly?
I would say, because when we first started the band, before Nathan joined, I was writing everything, and it was I didn't understand how a band worked at the time when I was like 14 or 15. So I was like, all right, guys, here's this song. And I would tell our drummer like you know what I'm saying? It's like that took a little bit of time.
You just
and-
tabbed it all out
and
in front of
Guitar
them
Pro,
by
yeah.
hand. You're like, hi-hat.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the sound.
There we go.
What is that Tom sound? No, the next one. Next one over.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, yep.
That's what I thought writing music with a band was like. So it took a lot longer back then. But I think once we probably got our second drummer, Nick, was when we could really just like fire off ideas and be like, and he's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So probably like 5 or 6 years into our existence.
Okay.
I think that was the time too, where just like everybody at that point was like pretty competent at their instrument, so it was pretty easy for us. All right, we're gonna do this 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is the last like band focus. There's one more question after this one for this category, but this like kind of the last band focused one. What brought you all to Portland?
We could tour.
Okay.
Yeah. It was we toured through Canada a couple times. We just drive through the Alcan. Takes a lot of time, costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just move.
The money's so funny looking.
Yeah.
The money,
And we kept breaking down to Fort Nelson, so we're like, fuck, we might as well just move.
That's fair.
Yeah, that was really the catalyst because we wanted to fucking just do it. You know?
And when did that happen?
It was
2015.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, from 2015 till COVID, we toured probably, including weekenders, if I do the math correctly, like 7 months out of the year.
Oh,
we were
damn.
always
2015.
Okay.
And then obviously when COVID hit,
Yeah.
stuff happened, and then we all got big boy jobs in the last 3 years.
Oh, tell
we're
me
kinda
about
like,
it.
Now we're like, maybe we should just chill out a bit and just have more fun than
Oh, yeah.
try to. Because I love touring and all that stuff, but it definitely. There were a couple times where I was like, "Oh, we're gonna finally get on like something or do something," and then it just doesn't happen. That's just how the music world works.
that's
And
the nature of it,
you're there at the right time, you're not. And every time we thought we were out there, we just kept finding out, there's more work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we were like finally like we finally got on like a little support run. We were like, fuck yeah, this we're doing this. Hell yeah, COVID hit. So
Oh, believe me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always joke that we were a band that got halfway to getting halfway there.
that's right.
Okay. I like that. Now, I said I only had one after this, but actually I have one more I want to add on because this is like, I haven't really ever thought to ask this to anybody before. Y'all have been together for a while now. Do you have a manager? Like, have you ever thought to have a manager?
Managers.
Okay. And can you share any of that experience?
Make sure. Here's the thing about managers. Make sure they always want what you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Good.
Right?
That's a great piece of information.
If they ever want something else or they suggest something else and you're not comfortable with it, yeah, you probably want to back away. If the shit stinks, it stinks.
Yeah.
No.
We did have one that was good. What would you count Manicat as?
They weren't really. They were more of the label.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've
I would say our best manager or torrent team or kind of would be Annie.
yeah.
That she was the best one.
I mean, we've always kind of been pretty DIY, you know, self-sufficient.
And we also been boned a lot.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's an easy spot to do that.
That's why they like obviously none of the experience we have outcome to anything, but I can tell people here's what you don't do.
Yeah. And no, I mean I think what you said earlier that is a great piece of information. Like that is exactly what that kind of question should have brought out. So thank you for sharing that. Like that was perfect.
He's so smart.
What a smart man.
We all have to be occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Like, what? All right. Now, like I said, this is the last one for the artist focused question, and these are going to be individual answers for sure because this kind of breaks down from the band, goes back to you as the person. We've talked a lot about what music gives you, like what comes from music. But what is it about the process? What is it about the individual experience you have with music that keeps you doing it now?
I think I don't. It's still like I still have that. I think like little baby Doug when I was like 13, 14. I still have that in my heart. Like I just like just playing music with my friends is its own reward, really, to me. And that's that. 15 years later, that's what keeps me coming back because like being able to do it with my best friends is like that's all I could ever ask for. That's what keeps me coming back to it, I think.
Hell yeah.
And that in the millions. I've got like 4 Porsches,
I was wondering where the other 3 Porsches came from.
we all rolled up in black Porsches to the interview.
All right, and then what about you?
For me, first thing, always like playing with these guys. When they asked me to play bass for them, I think in 2018. It was 2018.
I think so.
And I had to think about it for a minute, and I'm like, of course I want to do this.
Yeah.
I want to play with my friends.
I would get paid less money.
Right. I get paid less money doing this. But that and like being able to like hear myself progress through recordings and through music and whatnot, you know, because now I like listen to my stuff that I made back in like 2016 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like shit. And then, you know, now I'm like hearing my newer stuff and I'm like, oh, this is getting better. It's getting better. And it just keeps me going. And then I send my stuff to these guys and they're like, oh yeah, this would be sick. This is a great riff. And it just keeps me going. Honestly, I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
And I think, yeah, I mean, just the gap, like, honestly, yeah, with these guys, like, there's a chemistry here. Like, it's really, I feel like it's hard. People maybe in their, I could be wrong, but maybe in their adult life and at least us in our 30s, where it's really hard to keep friendships like this for as long as we've had. And I feel like it's a big deal for me, and that's what keeps me going. And my favorite part of music has always just been the writing part. And even if I don't write with these guys, I still write my own stuff just for fun. And it keeps me, you know, a little happy when I'm at work and ready to just go home and buy more stuff that I don't need.
Yeah. I think Dimitri brought up a good point. Like, I think Nathan and I have a podcast where we go through the history of the band. And I think looking, like, it made me realize.
Go ahead and just bleep out the mention of another band. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, what doing it made me realize that, like, every record that we've done, it's like, it just brings me back to that time in my life. And I think it's like you said, it's like it's an interesting way to like have a record of ever since I was a teenager. Like I can it's not like I can just listen to these songs and think, like, it just takes me right back to those times. And like, it's,
if I can interject, it's because it's attached to one of the strongest senses, which is sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sense is another big one but sound, like, you hear a song, you think of a time.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you just added the benefit of road mapping your life with your own made music.
Exactly.
So it's like, and you did it with your best friends.
Yeah.
So y'all have this moment in life that, like, that song will always remind you specifically of that moment.
Yeah.
But you just have a shit ton of them.
Yeah. I think that's really special. It's like, and like Nathan said too, like, another thing is, like, I will get these ideas in my head and I'll just ruminate on them at work, and just like being able to go home after work and like figure out what just comes up in my head is like, it's so rewarding to me after all this time, you know. It's just doing it is everything, you know.
Oh, yeah. So I love that you guys answered the question as like you answered the question towards the band and then yourself. Like I like that both of those answers came out from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like, at first I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, no, you got both. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I really appreciate that.
It's so intertwined in our identities, you know. We've been doing it for so long that
I could tell.
We are Noise Brigade. You know, like this, it's just so ingrained in who we are, you know.
The coalition.
Yeah.
Coalition.
All right, now that'll make this next part fun.
Sick.
Because these are all hypothetical questions.
Fuck
So
yeah.
these are all what ifs. And, you know, there are no wrong answers because any answer is the right answer. And I want to modify this first one because I recently I opened it up a little bit to if you could work with any one person who's currently alive. Now, for bands, I've been changing this question up just a little bit. And I think I kind of want to change it up even a little bit more for y'all.
Okay.
Because I believe at the moment y'all are looking for a drummer.
We are, please.
Okay,
Please,
so
you're listening.
usually...
Please come drum.
Usually the modification to the question is if you could add one more member to the band
Yeah.
to do any role, like you don't have to replace anybody, you would add anybody. But for this one, if you could add any drummer that's currently alive to the band.
Nick Vasquez. Josh Freese, probably. He's perfect. He can do anything.
Oh, 100%.
And
You
for
know.
the people at home, just say, you know, a little bit more about Josh, like who's like where he's from or whatever.
He's the drummer of originally the drummer of the Vandals, but he's like filled in for every big rock band
Really?
to
Okay.
ever
Really in the
exist.
Foo Fighters right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
He's played for, you know, Weezer, The Offspring, Devo. Like,
Okay.
I think he was I'm blanking out like another like big, there are like a million rock bands that he's filled in for and stuff. So
If any
could
record
do
you've heard in
anything.
the last 10 years, he's on it.
probably,
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And what about you?
Honestly, I was going to say the same thing, or Dave Grohl. Either one of the two.
a lot of times when we write drums, we're like, what would Dave Grohl do?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, you know?
Yeah.
Love a good flam, you know?
Bop, boom, bop, boom, you know?
At a Guitar Center I used to work at, it was the one in San Jose, store 222. on the side of the building, somebody spray painted what looked like Jesus until you got close enough. And it was Jesus's body with Dave Grohl's head.
That's all.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And that was, I mean, it was not a little piece. It was almost life size.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like it like came down to like my ankles to my shoulder. Like it was.
That was done out of love.
Yeah. Nothing else is on that wall either, mind you. That is the only thing that anybody ever spray painted on the wall.
Do you think it's still there?
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so.
If you know, if you've been to Guitar Center 222,
somebody's in Santa Clara, go to that Guitar Center, look on the side, put it in the comments. Let us know. All right, and then we still got one more person.
That guy from who's playing in Angels and Airwaves right now.
Elon Rubin?
Yeah, dude.
That dude can play the drums.
Yeah.
And he plays it like
I thought you didn't like open-handed.
Well, it's cool because when he switches over to the ride and stuff, he plays it like a regular. So think how versatile that is.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, you think they just cross over for the ride?
I don't know, maybe
That'd be so sick. Dude, have you seen Coheed and Cambria's drummer?
Yeah, that guy sucks.
He's got.
Just kidding. You're very good.
That's crazy. The dude's so open-handed. He has his ride over his hi-hat.
That's pretty sweet.
It's crazy. Anyway,
all right. Now for this next one, usually I roll it into like subsequently who's like a local person that would attach to the same first question. But obviously y'all are looking for local drummers.
Yeah.
So I imagine you would have reached out to anybody that you had in mind anyway.
Yeah, we've reached out to a couple people.
So we will remodify this question back to if you could play a show with any local band that you haven't connected with yet. And you know what? Because y'all have been around for a while, we'll spread it out to like Seattle and Eugene because there's a lot happening there as well. Right. But Pacific Northwest, is there a band that you would like to play with that you haven't played with yet?
Oh man,
gosh, who have we not played with that I've seen recently?
Do they have to still be together?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say Kurt. Like, if everybody were to at them in the comments right now,
hot right now.
We are, baby. You look great right now. I mean, it might sound weird, but we're playing a show with All Hype this weekend. So I mean, that's sick. Like I'm so happy.
Them a few times.
We have, but like I would love to do it again.
I was gonna say the home team, but we played with them a bunch of times too back in the day.
I would love to play with them again because they're popping now. Yeah, I would love that.
An example of I always joke about this. We played with so many bands that have made it to the next level, and we were just
and we're like, fuck yeah, guys, hell
and
yeah.
We're always supportive, like, heck yeah, you did it. When is it our turn? I would love those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, but who else? I can't really.
Botch.
Well, they're from Tacoma.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah, that counts.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's
Noise
Portugal.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Portugal the man. I never lead with it because it's still a little bit too much of a give me. But if somebody comes up with it naturally, it counts. They are local.
Yeah,
there you go.
They start in Alaska.
Yeah. But they start as the Ghost or something.
Oh, okay.
Anatomy of a Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
right.
I didn't know
you know
that.
that?
Oh yeah. Holy shit! This is news to me.
If I'm not mistaken, hopefully someone can correct me. The singer, he's from Wasilla, which is in Alaska, which they started as Anatomy of a Ghost, like you said, which I saw growing up when I was like 12.
I don't know if they're the same band or if it's like there's just DNA.
There's DNA.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, they moved here to Portland. Then they formed Portugal the Man here.
Yeah.
I think that's right. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Put it in the comments.
I amend my answer. I for some reason I was thinking like local level. I was like, if I could say any band, I would love to play with like Death Cab for Cutie. From like,
are they around here?
They're from Seattle.
Oh, well, there you go. So I don't know where anybody's from. Okay. Well, hey, yeah. As long as they're still active and doing it, that counts. Yeah. You have an answer? You thought he was going to get out of that one?
I thought I was. No, I can't. I honestly can't think of any. I cannot think of any on the top of my head.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then, I forgot this is a new question. I put in a new question.
Ooh. Oh, fuck yeah. Dude.
You know what? We're not even going to modify this. This is for everybody individually.
Okay.
If you could get an album from one more artist who's no longer making music, so they can be alive still, they can be dead, but you can get an album from one more artist.
I got one.
Who would it be?
You want to go?
You go.
The Swellers.
Oh! You both were going to say that. I knew it.
Okay. Were you going to say the Swellers?
I was going to say the Swellers.
Black Breath.
All right. Hell yeah.
nails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they done?
I think they're done.
It's just Todd now.
Oh,
So,
sad. Okay.
let's see.
Learn something. And obviously mine, the Swellers, the greatest band of all time.
Greatest band to ever exist. Other than Noise
Maybe
Brigade.
Nirvana. I wouldn't mind to see it. That would be kind of sick to get another Nirvana.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, and then to round it all out, and this one again, another new question, but this one is fun. This one's fun because it will definitely work
Love
regardless
fun
of
stuff.
who's here. If you could add one more instrument to the group, and we'll exclude drummer because obviously that's a need.
Oh.
But like, if you
Oh,
could
I know this one.
add an instrument, it could be anything. What would it be, and would you want to play it yourself, or would you want to have somebody else play it?
So we've always had keys
Mhm.
in our, like, just little bits of, I would love to have a keyboard player that like does other stuff. Like,
Let's say, what would the other stuff be then? Like one more abstract, maybe not abstract, but one instrument that hasn't already been prominent.
trumpet.
Okay.
Like just,
Or saxophone.
or yeah, something, yeah, some
Yeah.
kind of woodwind or brass or something. I think having having something other than strings would be really cool. And they even do like auxiliary percussion, like Motion City soundtrack, you know? That'd be really neat.
I'm so glad you said that because I was actually going to say there was a song on your guys' newest EP that came out that reminds me so much of Motion City soundtrack. And
like-
I can't remember which one it is,
Oh.
but there's one with a very prominent like Motion City synth line in it.
Oh, that's probably Jackie, I think.
I
Probably
think
Jackie.
so.
Yeah.
It's in the first half. I know that.
Yeah,
I listened through all of it twice.
Yeah.
It's really good, by the way. I'm
Thank you.
excited for you guys to plug it in a moment. But yeah, there was one that I heard that I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is like not just like in like copied form, but like that moment, that energy that I love. Or
Fuck
Motion
yeah.
City. I met them. Like one of my favorite bands of all time.
Me too.
But I heard it and I was just like, oh, I like this a lot.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
I like this a lot.
I'm so glad you said that because they're like, I think if I had to list like the three bands I ripped off the most, easily Motion City's in there.
They didn't do anything that was like overly complicated. They just did everything well.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
And over
God.
time, they just grew.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it comes down to. And I mean, man, I'm so sad I missed them when they were here.
Well, we saw them actually when they were on tour with All American Rejects a couple weeks ago.
Damn
A month ago?
Yeah, it was almost.
It was that was
Yeah.
what I was saying.
They played acoustic.
What?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, 'cause,
crazy.
Wow.
their bus broke down or something, so not everybody can get there in time.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It was really cool stuff.
It was awesome. Yeah, I've seen them plenty of times. They're one of my favorite bands of all
Oh,
time.
super cool dudes too. Hell yeah! All right, but we've tangented.
yeah, go ahead.
What about you?
Come on, just say it.
What?
This is a safe space.
I really like keys. I really would love to have keys, but for another one, it would be kind of dope. Be different. I'm sorry, guys, but it'd be cool to have cello.
Another guitar.
A cello.
Cello.
Hell yeah!
Actually, that'd be sick.
My
Cello would be
fiance
cool.
plays cello.
That's
Oh.
Kate.
She does.
Well, there you go.
So,
You just
got
made
it.
it happen.
Locked and
It's
loaded,
just,
baby.
it's just so cool hearing a cello slide. Like it's just super cool. I don't know. That's
And
just me.
it's different than like a fretless bass.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that like that register, just kind of where it lives.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like high like treble, but it has the very low.
Goes down
to the
It
C.
could shake like the inner
it
core.
goes into those resonant bass tones
Yeah.
a little bit more than like a guitar would
Right.
without assistance.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most underrated instruments that exists, honestly.
Honestly.
Motherfuckers forget about the cello.
I mean,
Dude,
do you
honestly.
not remember, was it Apocalyptica?
Dude, I saw Apocalyptica like last year. It was fucking crazy.
Can you just start inviting me to shows when you go? Your lineup sounds like exactly what I go
it
to.
was so sick, dude.
It's now Noise Brigade plus Jimmy.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything in the band. He
play
just
drums?
keeps going to stuff.
Hangs out with us all the time.
Here's Jimmy. He's hanging out.
Yeah.
He's our buddy. What about you, Nathan?
Wait, just for the jam box effect, I'll show up with a cajon
Oh, yeah.
There you
because
go.
it's a box.
There you go. The jam box.
There we go. Oh, and it
yeah.
makes more sense than a boombox. Actually, there's something in this, and I'm upset. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
We still got one more person for this.
What was that thing I was talking to you the other day? I found at a pawn shop. Theremin.
A theremin.
you
I know
do that
somebody that
thing?
plays one.
Okay, little Doctor Who action.
I saw one at a pawn shop the other day. Like, man, you know what would be cool if we had a cool riff with one of these.
Theremin riff.
You know what? It's the weirdest instrument, but when somebody plays it well, there's just something about it that
Yeah,
kicks
If you
ass.
like did
beautiful.
like three and you harmonized it, that could make it sound kind of cool.
No,
awesome, dude.
I've seen somebody
Like a
do
looper?
something cool with one, but again, it's one of those things where you watch them and you're like, you had to spend so much time figuring out how to make your hand move from here to here, like the difference from here to here, to know, like to be, and then you have to like learn to articulate it with
It's
I
insane.
could,
Such an interesting
I could
show.
never.
Professional theremin player. I could never.
That's
couldn't
such
be
a
me.
unique niche that you'd probably get a ton of gigs just off of principle.
I feel like
Fuck
at this
yeah.
point we'll find a professional theremin player before we find a drummer.
I have a joke I'll make to you later.
All right, let's go ahead and officially wrap this up.
Okay.
What do you guys have coming up, say, like November to March?
November we're playing with what's
Mono Whales.
Mono Whales
Oh, hell yeah.
at Mano Culta. And in March, well, it hasn't been announced yet, but we're gonna go back to Alaska and play some hometown shows.
Oh, exciting.
That'll be cool.
Exciting.
And we will be working on a new record early next year,
Ooh, okay.
into the summer. So
Yeah, stuff to look forward
we'll
to.
see. We'll see what happens with that. But
Might
yeah.
get a new van. Maybe not tour as much as we used to, but I mean, I wouldn't mind, go maybe once a month, do more weekenders and stuff like
yeah.
that.
And new van's still comfy.
That's true.
You know what I'm
I think
saying?
we're getting one of those Toyota Siennas.
yeah, if you're selling a minivan, hit Nathan up.
Yeah.
We're not using like 8x10s. I really would want to.
No, we're not using
I have
that.
one.
My back hurts. Okay, we're not carrying cabs anymore.
But we
People,
what?
you go ahead. Sorry.
We can all direct in. We've all just come to that realization that like we
It's-
don't need to carry all this gear.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
whatnot.
you can have like a 410.
Yeah.
Like, for this, like for smaller spaces.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
travel with that for places where you're not going to be directing because the place isn't big enough.
Mm.
But I mean,
It's not.
yeah.
Technology is taking over.
There's
Cool.
very rarely a time that
Racing.
it's needed.
Yeah.
I pushed back a lot for many years, but I finally bought a Helix.
Proud
Just
of
'cause
you.
it's just I don't have to bring anything.
Yeah.
It's just that,
And like, even if you like I'm a big fan of like a sturdy pedal board and a Kemper.
Oh, sure.
Like I think that real pedals, Kemper, and a good cab.
Oh, yeah.
All, it's
That's the
all
Kurt
you
Ballou.
need.
That's the Kurt Ballou method.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the Kemper, we won't get on gear.
Yeah.
We're doing wrap ups. So
Okay,
let's get into this set. For this next one, I'm gonna have y'all look at the camera and kind of like you did in the beginning. Let's do individually. We'll start at this end, but let's do name, at, and like how people can find you, and then after individual ads and plugs and things like that, we'll have you round out with the band's at.
Okay.
So just like all y'all plug yourselves and then the band.
Okay.
Yep, and go ahead and right into the camera.
Hi, I'm Doug, and you can find me at Doug X Jones. The X stands for straight edge, or super nothing. So I think it's super X nothing on Twitter. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dimitrik, and you can hit me up on Instagram at Sachio Papio. And then basically just hit me up on there, and yeah.
I think it's Time Nathan on all my other social media. I don't post that much stuff, but if you want to follow, I'll follow you back. But for Noise Brigade, though, we're on Instagram, Facebook. We've reached a point in our career where we're the first thing that pops up on Google. So if you just type that in, all our stuff's right there.
For a long time, it was the Mighty Mighty Boss Tone song, but now it shows us.
Hell yeah.
Biggest achievement.
Yeah, yeah. I amend my answer. That's my biggest achievement.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else y'all want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out to who am I shouting out to?
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yeah.
Me and Nathan, I don't know if this is if this is bad. Me and Nathan have a podcast,
Yeah, go for it.
Mustard in a Ketchup Packet. It goes through the history of Noise Brigade. If you want to listen to us talk shit even more and bullshit, check us out over there.
And even if you're not a fan of music, it's just interesting to hear what it's like to struggle with your friends for 10 years and understand, wow, I'm so glad I never did that in my life. So good listen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you live in Southeast Portland, I probably am your mailman every now and then. So look out for me, I guess.
Hell yeah. All right. Now we've got one last question to go.
Fuck
Before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Okay.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, the final question. And this is a new one as well, you guys.
Oh,
Get ready.
fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
Because I know y'all did a little bit of homework, but get ready.
All right.
In your interpretation, so it's entirely however you want to take this question is up to you. But what is a song that like impacted your life? It like changed you.
Ooh.
It's a good question.
Mm.
Great question.
I got to the end until you thought so. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Blue E Feel 65. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, how'd you say that?
I'm blue. E Feel.
It's Eiffel.
It's definitely
That's
Eiffel.
crazy.
Whatever.
Ooh, you bet.
No,
But
I'm
also
kidding. That's not the
that
song.
track is a banger.
It is
First of
a
all,
banger.
have you heard T-Pain's reprisal of it?
Yes, I have.
It's incredible.
I love T-Pain.
That's
These guys
badass.
know that T-Pain is my favorite, and Love
Actively go
Love-
back as many episodes as you want. I'm not kidding at all.
Love with a Stripper. I don't know.
Have you listened to any of his newer music?
It's pretty good.
Like Oblivion, maybe one of my favorite albums ever.
That's crazy.
Do you watch his live stream?
No.
You know,
I enjoy him as a person. I just don't watch a lot of anybody's like streams and things like that.
okay.
Yeah, that's not my bag.
he makes his new songs based on him asking his fans
Okay.
through the
Yeah.
through the live stream. He's like, "Does this sound good?" And they're all like, "No." And he's like, "Okay."
They're like,
And
"Fuck you."
I mean, he can afford to.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
But his album Oblivion,
I'll definitely check it out.
there's a track on there called May I.
Uh-huh.
It's like 7.5 minutes long.
But-
it has a drum solo, a bass solo, a keyboard solo. It is dominantly a waltz beat, but it slaps so hard. And Mr. Talkbox is on it.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like when I tell you this might be one of my favorite songs of all time, I am not exaggerating in the least.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah. Like, first of all, can you imagine T-Pain harmonizing with Mr. Talkbox? Like, if that doesn't do it for you, like, if you're not getting goosies like me right now, I don't know what to tell you.
Let's go the right home.
Yeah. Like, I promise you, you're going to hear this. And as soon as you're done listening to it, you're going to listen to it again.
I will definitely listen.
It's so good. It's so good. That whole album is incredible. But
shit.
that track in particular,
Yeah.
that is mine. That is the
Wow.
one that is the one that changed it for me. So I accidentally answered the question ahead of time. But let's get back into it.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen his Tiny Desk concert? It's incredible.
It's really
Oh, where he actually like people actually like saw that T-Pain actually sang,
yeah.
and everyone's like,
Motherfucker's got pipes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean,
does.
he had proven that long before.
Yeah.
his Tiny Desk
Yeah, yeah,
performance, but,
true.
But yeah, we'll tangent
Beautiful.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I could do an episode just about T-Pain.
we could. Yeah.
But what would you say is a song that changed you?
Oh man, this is such a tough question because like there's so many songs that I've listened to throughout my life.
If Blue Eiffel 65 is it, that's okay.
Yeah, that
No,
means that's
it's
the
not.
answer.
That could be your answer. It was a joke.
Okay.
Honestly,
Oh, I got a good one.
Oh, I got one too. You better hurry up and answer.
dang, I'm.
You want us to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me.
All right, check it out. Sepultura, Arise. I was like fucking 3 years old, probably. My dad had. You ever? Are these old like like skate videos or like just like compilations of people skating? There was a dirt bike video, like a VHS, and like it had the Offspring, like early Offspring, and it had Sepultura, Arise, and I was young, dude. I was like basically a baby still.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing it and be like, "This is the most insane shit I've ever heard in my like however many years of existence." And I think something about that like affected my brain at a very, very young age, and it got me into probably everything else, like extreme metal, basically. Like it was, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sepultura, Arise, craziest song of the early '90s.
Hell yeah.
She's Got It All by Kenny Chesney.
Really?
Okay.
That song changed my life.
Holy shit!
I mean, like if you dissect all my vocal melodies, Doug, they're all country tunes. If you really,
That's
if
true,
you really think
actually.
about it,
Yeah.
So, it all started there.
Wow.
That snare to this day, I hear it.
Also, Jesus of Suburbia. I'd say changed my life.
Okay.
Easy.
Figure it out. Did we trick or no?
What?
You figure it out?
I think so.
Okay, go.
All right.
Blue by Eiffel 65.
No. Man, I'm drawing a huge blank. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
I probably would have to say like probably anything by Linkin Park, like In the End, because
Okay.
I think during that time, yeah, I have to say In the End by Linkin Park, because I think during that time I was like on the internet constantly, and I was watching like Dragon Ball Z, like fighting
AMVs
families and the
and
shit.
AMVs, and so I was watching those. And I was like, oh my god! And that was the second album that I bought in my life was
Oh, hell yeah.
the Linkin Park album.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like it was probably like that was an experience for a lot of people. Like,
so I bet.
You know what?
I mean?
It is. Linkin Park has been referenced on this show many times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just that they were so influential in such a specific way at like the time when America needed it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
they really brought a lot to the front and did it in a way that felt fairly individualized
Yeah.
for like how like prominent they were.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like that they really they had something special about them.
It was such a new sound, I think, like at least on the radio, and it felt like very authentic to them. And I think people could tell that. You know?
Yeah.
And it influenced. Like, we were that was how we were like 8 or 9 when that shit was popping off. So like when our brains were still developing, that was like,
they were
oh
also,
my god.
They were also such a big movement group. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like a lot of people could get along together under their umbrella.
Yeah.
Like just the way that they kind of like merged a few sounds, but also like you know, like there was a lot of authenticity, and I think it attached like to people well.
Yeah.
Anybody could listen to it and take something away from it.
Totally.
If you were to hear that, like if someone gave you the idea of Linkin Park, they're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But then once,
Especially at the time.
Yeah, at that time. And then if you listen to it, you're like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's just perfect music.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
flawless.
Hybrid Theory, like every song.
Music literally has never gotten better than that.
Yeah, honestly.
Downhill.
That was the peak. You all thought the timeline diverged way later when COVID started. No, no.
It was hybrid theory.
It was hybrid theory.
Oh, yeah.
Motherfuckers don't know.
There's an alternate reality where it didn't happen.
Don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
Don't care.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Guys, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah, man.
today. I really
Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
it.
For having us.
Hell
It was
yeah,
a lot of fun.
It was a very fun.
Thank you. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Doug.
I'm Dimitri.
I'm Nathan. And we're
Noise Brigade.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show. Keep jamming.